Hi everyone, this is Gina Versa from the Waffle Press podcast. I'm here with Keir Duella, who was famously in 2001: A Space Odyssey, among many other movies. Keir, I just wanted to talk to you for a quick second about 2001. L Street Studios.
MGM. British. MGM British in Boreham Wood, in north of London. And how was it like? Well, they were awesome sets, obviously, but the most awesome part for me wasn't the sets, it was working with Stanley Kubrick. That was the awesome thing. He's the greatest director of film since Citizen Kane, and he the most prepared director I ever worked with. I still am a Kubrick fan. I was in drama school and saw Paths of Glory with Kirk Douglas, which happens to be my favorite Kubrick film. And I was my jaw dropped to my lap as I was watching this film, and I saw everything he's done since, and things he did before. And he was a brilliant director, so to get a chance to work with him was a dream come true. And he was the most prepared director I ever worked with. Therefore, he was so prepared he could relax. He knew exactly what he wanted, so he gave you the freedom to try things. He was never didactic. He was quiet, never raised his voice, and you just knew you were in the presence of genius. His style of directing, well, you know the thing about great directors, if they're brilliant at casting, and I'm not complimenting myself, this is true for any great director. If you're a great director, that means usually you cast greatly. If you cast perfectly, you don't have to do a lot of direction. He had a great script by Arthur C. Clarke, and he would suggest things very quietly, but it was not, from my point of view, it wasn't a difficult chore. There are other films that were far more, in that sense, where you had to come up with things yourself, or either that, or deal with a difficult director who would be difficult to work with. Anything but working with Stanley. Regarding the voice of Hal, Stanley couldn't quite decide what the voice should be. At first he had a New York actor, and that was wrong. He says it's too New York. Then he had a British actor on the set who was doing the off-camera lines, and Nigel Davenport was his name. Well-known British actor, he did films. He said, no, it's too British. I'll worry about it in post-production. So meantime, he turned to his first assistant director, his first AD. By the way, this is all filmed in Britain, so the crew is entirely British. So the voice of Hal sounded like this to us for the rest of the film. Dive. Oh no, I can't do that. A little bit like working with Michael Caine. So that took acting. So that's what. Then later, when he was editing the film, he found this wonderful actor up in Canada by the name of Douglas Rains, who is known as the Laurence Olivier of Canada. He did all the major Shakespearean roles at the Shakespeare Festival in Stratford, Ontario, one of the two most famous Shakespeare festivals in the world, and that was the voice of Hal. I went to the premieres in New York, Los Angeles, Honolulu, Tokyo, Melbourne, and Sydney. MGM flew me over to go to those premieres, but the first time I saw it was in New York, and it blew me away. Particularly, I had seen the set for the space station. I'd seen a bit of that, even though I wasn't in it, and some of the stuff that I was in was a little familiar, but my favorite part of the film is the Dawn of Man with the Eight Men, because I hadn't seen it, and that was filmed after we were done with the film. So the beginning of the film was the last thing to be shot, and it's brilliant. And my favorite moment in it is when the Eight Man discovers the first weapon, which is a bone, and the greatest cinematic, what we call jump cut, is when he tosses the bone and it in slow motion morphs into a space vehicle. But not only is that a space vehicle, it is a nuclear weapon in orbit around the Earth. So therefore, what did he do in one moment? He expressed the first weapon known to man with the most recent one. It was brilliant.
Yeah, that's okay. There's 2010, the year we made contact, and it's rumored that, or excuse me, not rumored. There's I believe a 3001 TV series in there.
I don't think it was a TV. Well, somebody else talked about it and said that it was a feature,
Oh, okay.
but it never got off the ground.
Right.
So I never heard of it before until today.
Oh, really?
No.
If there was that, because Arthur C. Clarke, he did, I believe, 3 sequels? 3 or 4
Well,
sequels?
there was I think 2066 or something where the other astronaut is somehow brought back to life. Or is it? I don't know.
Something, yeah. But if there was ever another film in the series, would you ever be open to doing a cameo?
If the money was right.
Okay. Yeah. It's awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, you turn